School Shootings in the U.S. Public Schools. Analysis through the eyes of an educator. Written by G. Helen Lee. Presentation by Anna Patterson, Emily Hattan, and Ryan Wilson. In the last few years, school shootings have been a growing problem in the United States. School shootings have increased drastically since 1980, but incidents have gradually increased since the 1760s. Some research has been conducted by those interested in criminal justice and health policy, but scholars in the education field have shown minimal research concerning school shootings. These shootings resonate most with educators, students, and parents the most, so the author has gathered their information from the perspective of educators. Throughout this article, the author seeks to find patterns in the 593 school shootings from the 1760s to 2013 through characteristics of perpetrators, such as age, gender, and race, conceptualization of the attack, causes such as bullying and drugs, history of shootings, access to and commonly used weapons, time and duration of the attack, and how the attack was resolved. The author will also examine ways that school shootings can be prevented and how teachers, parents, and students can be helpful in keeping schools safe from attacks, such as teacher self-defense training, gun control issues, and being more aware of students' mental health. The goal of this study is to raise awareness of the dangers surrounding school shootings to students, parents, and teachers. The author hopes to emphasize the increasing problem and help others realize this is a pressing issue. The study also aims to answer questions regarding school shootings, as well as let those involved in the community know how they can play a part in keeping schools safe from these events. All of these answers will stem from the trends and patterns of U.S. school shootings and the significance of these patterns to the field of education. The purpose of this research is to find trends and patterns of school shootings in the United States from an educator's perspective by examining school shootings that occurred from the 1760s to 2013 and analyze 593 school shootings in the eyes of an educator.
There are few research studies on the topic because most of the information is found in news reports. The researcher used 3 resources for gathering information on school shootings: the final report and findings of the Safe School Initiative, implications for the prevention of school attacks in the United States from the United States Secret Service and United States Department of Education in 2004, Stop the Shootings Organization, and Wikipedia School Shootings 2013, and Wikipedia List of School Shootings in the United States 2013. All of the sources listed a different number of school shootings. The final report and findings of the Safe School Initiative listed 37 school shootings and attacks from 1974 to 2000. Stop the Shootings listed 387 from 1992 to 2013, and Wikipedia listed 271 from 1760 to 2013. Each source also had a different focus, and the researcher combined all of the information from those resources into one study.
There were 9 main categories and subcategories in the research analyzed. The first one was characteristics of the perpetrators, which includes characterization, identification, age, gender, and interest in violence. The second one, conceptualization of the attack, where the attacker had developed the idea to harm the targets before the attack. Cause, major reasons were bullying and the use of psychiatric drugs. History of the U.S. school shootings, weapons, characteristics of target and victim, which included fellow students, faculty, staff, and the school itself. Time of the school shooting, before, during, or after school. Duration of the attack, and resolving the attack. This study is a literature-based research utilizing an inductive analysis, which targeted grades K through 12, teachers, parents, students, school administrators, teachers, and supportive faculty and staff. It suggested building a partnership between schools and churches to address the emotional needs of the students. It also targeted developing a strategy for threat assessment, gun control, and parent monitoring. After the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in 2012, many school districts in the U.S. increased the number of school resource officers at schools. Some schools allowed teachers to carry concealed weapons. The Gun-Free Schools Act, passed in 1994, was a result of many school systems adopting the zero-tolerance law. It was noted that PG-13 movies contained a higher value of gun violence than R-rated movies. Since kids spent a lot of time watching TV, we need to remember that what kids watch can influence the way we speak, act, and think. In addition to the results shown in the charts, research showed 87% of school shooters were victims of bullying. In 95% of the attack, the shooter had the idea to commit this act beforehand. While 99% of school shootings were done by young males, there were also at least 5 shootings done by females. Research shown 95% of school shootings were done by current students between 1974 and 2013. The 10 to 19 age group was the majority of the age were school shooters, as well as the majority of the victims. During school hours was likely chosen as the time where more harm to the victims would occur. 22% of school shooters stopped on his own or left the school. Research showed that 3/4 of the shooters only used one weapon. Some other important facts were 78% of school shooters had a history of suicidal thoughts or attempts, and 61 were documented with a history of depression. 1 or more people were killed by the shooter in approximately 3/4 of school shootings. 47% of school shootings took place in less than 15 minutes until the shooter was captured, surrendered, or stopped shooting. One exception was the Virginia Tech shooting, which lasted 2 hours and 36 minutes. The analysis showed that school shooters came from various backgrounds, demographics, academics, and behavior characteristics. Nearly 63% of the school shooters came from a 2-parent family consisting of either both biological parents or 1 biological parent and 1 step-parent. Only approximately 5% of school shooters live with a foster parent. California, Texas, Florida, and Illinois were noted to be the top 4 states where school shootings occurred. Researchers noticed that since the 4 states had the largest population, it was understandable that more shootings would occur. 41% of school shooters achieved grades A's and B's, 15% were B average students, 22% received C's, and only 5% of school shooters were failing all their courses. While behaviors of each shooter may vary, the commonality among school shooters where they came up with the idea how to commit the act, develop a plan, decided how to carry out the plan, and then committed it. In summary of the findings, research has shown there are too many school shootings that take place in the U.S. through the eyes of an educator. Per the results, there are multiple statistics collected which showed the trends and patterns of school shootings. This research raised awareness of the danger in school shootings and answered questions some may have as to the type of perpetrator who committed these attacks, why they committed them, and when these attacks occurred. The research hoped teachers, parents, students, and school administrators would think about what they can do to help classrooms and schools safe from future attacks. Each can play an important role by trying to identify how someone knew the attack was about to happen, what the attacker has said previously, does the attacker have any known issues, does the attacker have any known weapons, and is the attacker known to be depressed.
The study creates an image of the perfect school shooter, which is dangerous because not all school shooters follow the same rules or fit the description. Stereotyping school shooters allow those planning attacks to go undetected if they do not fit the general description of a school shooter. This study could have been improved by focusing on shootings from a specific year or a few years because of the large number of school shootings and because data could have changed while researching the topic. The researcher should have also used information from only one resource or tried to find resources with information on the same time periods. Some of the resources also left out some shootings. Some of the sources could have categorized the shootings or attacks differently, and the researcher should have chosen resources that categorize the attacks the same way for more accurate data.
In conclusion, the hypothesis was supported in that the number of school shootings has increased since the 1960s and should be a legitimate concern for students, teachers, and parents today. Although this is true, there are many ways that the community can play an important role in ensuring the safety of students. This article succeeds in educating about school shootings, the prevention of these shootings, and the causes through the eyes of an educator.